Welcome to The Way with your best era hosts, Ryan McKeen and Brittany Green. The podcast where we dive deep into the world of legal business and marketing. So whether you're a lawyer, marketer, or business owner in the legal industry, this podcast is for you.
Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
It's going well, Brittany. How are you?
I can't complain. It's beautiful, sunny, warm, but not humid and hot summer yet. So it's nice. Obviously, you know, you're on your deck right now.
It is unbelievable outside. I was talking to a client of ours in Texas. I was like, if you came to Connecticut today, you'd be like, it's heaven. But we literally get about 10 of these days a year, and it's going to be 100 degrees in 2 days. So we go from freezer to fire very quickly here in Connecticut. And while we have this weather,
Yeah, same. I was outside working earlier with my dog, but had to come. He told me it was time to come inside. So
and you know, it's a glorious time of year too, because I was just like watching the Knicks game. I'm like, it's like 9 o'clock and it's like sunny out. I'm like,
I know.
it's beautiful and lovely, and I'm here for it.
Absolutely. It definitely gets me excited for all of our traveling we're doing coming up here, because I feel like that's, you know, the warm weather makes me think of like other fun destinations to go to. So, and obviously it was in your mind too, because when we came on here to decide what we wanted to talk about, you were like, let's talk about travel.
Right. We get to travel a lot. We get to see a lot of amazing places, and we get to meet a lot of amazing people all over this beautiful country of ours. And I was like, you know what? It's summer travel season. So many of our clients are traveling. So many of our friends are traveling. Like, hey, we're traveling. We're all going to be in Italy. Our Italian era coming up pretty soon, if we're not already there or have already come back by
I
the
know,
time this
right?
airs. But yeah, so we have a lot of travel, and I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? Like, what are our big sort of like best era travel tips that we've learned from years on the road of what to do and what not to do? Simple things that people can learn from and implement, and maybe make their travel experience like that much easier. So, Brittany, I'm going to let you begin with whatever your first tip is.
All right. Well, my first one that immediately came to mind, this one's definitely most specific to like work travel tip, because of course work travel tires you out in a much different way than vacation travel. And we've done both ways, and we've always realized our mistake when we do it this way instead of the right way, which is take the evening flight out so you can get home in the evening, instead of thinking it makes more sense to stay in the hotel one more night and like get up super early and take that first flight out. It's the amount of times we've had to, like, in, you know, foreign cities, try to get to the airport for 4 a.m. to get like the 6 a.m. flight out home so that we can, like, you know, be home sooner during the day. Meanwhile, we totally would have rather just like stayed up till midnight the night before to get home, to get in our own bed. You waste so much of like a work day when we realize we do that sort of extra day of travel. It's just the worst. I feel like you probably agree with me, but that's like my first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I can't tell you how many times over the years that I have flown a like 9:50 flight out of Atlanta to Bradley that lands about midnight. Like, that is probably like my number one flight that I am on, because I'm usually coming from someplace into Atlanta and then on to Hartford. So yes, I am a big proponent of late flights, or, you know, not staying that extra night and cutting your day short. And usually that means leaving a place, you know, at 4 or so in the afternoon to get me into Atlanta to get me home. So yes, big proponent of that. I
What other tips?
You know, I'm gonna go with a few tips. It's gonna be ground travel tips, right?
Okay.
Like, first of all, if you're gonna rent a car, like, rent at Enterprise or Hertz. Like, Brittany and I were
Yeah.
stuck at, I think it was an Avis rental car. I don't want to even like
It
defame
was
the
like
place.
budget Avis,
I
whatever.
don't know.
Yes.
But it
Yeah.
was like a million degrees, and we're in Baltimore, and like there's like one poor guy for a whole line of people, and it is a mess.
Yeah.
The air conditioning is not working. It is summer in Baltimore, and it is a mess. But So I am a huge fan of Enterprise is where I mostly rent from, or Hertz, but same kind of thing. You can rent in the app, you bypass the counter, you literally go and you show people your reservation number, they scan it, they're like, "Here, you can get any car in that row." You go into the car, the keys are there, you show your driver's license to somebody at the stand that lets you out, and off you go. It is wonderful, can save you a ton of time. And to me, those are the two companies that do it the best. So don't, Enterprise or Hertz, I think you're okay, but prioritize the early check-in. And it's really magical just to be able to walk through an airport, get in a car, and off you go.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, that the horror story of that budget Avis line. And I mean, obviously it was not any of like the rental car company's fault that the air conditioner just was not on or working or whatever have you, but man, yeah, that solidified the fact that like sometimes it's just not worth going with the cheaper option ever.
Not at all. And I think this was one where I was like, I think we were hungry for dinner. I like it was this whole
Yeah.
thing. And so don't
Well,
don't
and I
don't do
think
that
we were gonna need to drive another, like, hour
hour.
and a half or something to our actual final destination. So, of course, of all the times too when, we needed the rental car for more than just, like, to and from the hotel and airport, it was, like, a whole thing.
Yeah, this we're making the same trip this year, and instead of flying into Baltimore and renting a car, where we're going is Northern Virginia, and we are flying into Dulles and not renting a car. So that works out well. And my advice, I'm going to give another ground transportation advice: always pay for like the better Uber or the better Lyft, the better rideshare. Like I
Mhm.
swear to you, like almost every car accident I've been in like the past decade, or almost been in the past decade, has been in like a rideshare driver. I mean, it's just crazy. And so, typically if you're able to afford like the black or something
Mhm.
like that, they're actually like professional drivers most of the time. And I just feel like there's a far less risk of you ending up crashing. And it's also like really nice too when it's like, you fly somewhere. And I remember I was in Houston earlier this year, and I was in the back of a 717 in like the last row and like the middle. And I was like this, and it was terrible. And I'm like, no, no, I'm taking a Suburban into Houston, and you just sit and sprawl. And
Yes.
the nicer ride shares tend to have things like water and chargers and
Chargers.
mints, and just up level your ride share. Don't go with the economy ride share is my tip.
Yeah, agreed, and also you don't ever want it not that, we don't have to travel with huge luggage for work trips anyways, because 'cause they're usually quicker anyways, but the worst is also, yeah, if you don't pay for the fancier black and you come up, with this, like, small sedan drives up and they're like, "We have no room for your luggage," which happened to Marissa and I, when one of our trips to Charleston, like a little I forget, like, it was like a Fiat or something very small, and he had a bunch of stuff in his trunk already, so we were trying to jam in our luggage to get to and of course, that was one of the times we had a bunch of stuff we were bringing down for the conference, so we packed heavier than usual. So
Another Another Charleston rideshare tip that we learned was sometimes when a car says that it seats 6, it really means 4.
yes,
So so if you really need a big car, definitely opt for black, because, like,
yes.
that is not a literal translation from rideshare app to reality. And we've had drivers be like, "Well, why are there 6 of you?" And it's like, "Well,
Yes.
that's what we reserved." And they look at you with, like, 3 heads,
Yeah.
but that is also a thing in Rideshareville.
Absolutely, and also if you schedule ahead, and, you tell them a certain time, they may get mad about, you not being there exactly on the time you said when they show up early. They act like it's their fault that they showed up early and you're just on time, but that's neither here nor there.
Volley, back
But
to you for some travel tips.
so another thing I love from air going back to airport travel wise, I mean, I know this again a little bit more of an add-on luxury thing, and I get it when if you're traveling on budgets and stuff. We're lucky enough that we travel a decent amount, and we almost always exclusively do Delta. So, we've earned up the right statuses and stuff. So we pretty much always have like our first bag free for bag check and things like that. It really is so much easier not having to haul like a full on carry on piece of luggage with you, especially if you're connecting, through airports. I definitely have gotten used to the sort of being hands free, just typically like with a backpack or vice versa on our really quick trips, being much more efficient and only like packing a backpack. Get one of those like I know you love your Cotopaxi. I have just one of the like base BEIS brand backpacks that's like fits a full packing cube and things like that. It's so much easier if you can like either consolidate or check your bag so that you're just more hands free at the airports and things like that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of, if I can get away with it, just traveling with my backpack. And I bought over the weekend some like vacuum sealers for
Mm.
clothes, which makes it even like more easy to compress and to compact. So I'm excited to use those. But yeah, if I can just get away with a backpack, that's fantastic. And also what I've learned too, and I know they're like, oh, don't throw backpacks in the overhead. Definitely throw your backpack in the overhead because it
I think
gives
it's
you
fair as long as it's your only piece, right? Like if you're
exactly,
still following
exactly.
the rules, like you're allowed
Yes.
to. It's your only piece.
It's your
Yes.
only piece. And so, but it gives you so much more legroom
Mhm.
and put, your chargers or whatever in like a smaller like shoulder bag. So you have that makes for a lot more comfortable journey. But yes, I don't throw a carry-on and a backpack, but I am totally a fan of trying to put my backpack up into the overhead because it's so much more legroom.
Yeah. Now, question with the vacuum seal packs. What are they the ones where you can just like twist and it does it itself, or do you physically need to like hook it up to a vacuum to suck the air out?
No, they come with these little
Okay, so
like
that you can do it on the road.
well, yeah, yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's like I don't know. It's like bigger than my. It's like
Okay.
a little bit bigger than my AirPods thing here,
Yeah.
but you just and
Yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah. No, it does
Because
that.
I
So
know
you've
there's
got to
some, that you physically like have
no,
to use your own vacuum kind of thing. So which isn't obviously useful for
no,
the the travel back home.
but Allison and I did also use it. Allison's like, oh, maybe we should get totes and store our winter clothes or whatever. And I was like, why do that? Like, you could just use these vacuum bags because totes are just
Right.
super bulky anyway. And we use these vacuum bags, and a bunch of my hoodies are now underneath my bed in a nice sealed vacuum bag waiting for the glorious fall.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so okay, so luggage travel tip, that was that next one. What else have you got there?
Yeah, I am. I mean, look, if you're doing any sort of traveling or you value your time or sanity at all, like get clear, get pre, get global entry. Like those things are amazing. And if nothing else, it gets you mostly into the line of more business travelers who are just more efficient at getting through security lines. So if you are like me and don't like lines and are often on sort of tight schedules, like I cannot recommend enough, like having, even Delta has their own thing, but like getting all those different things, because if nothing else, you get to the airport and you have options, and you have options on how to get through your line, and generally speaking, you're dealing with people who it's just more predictable. And this also gets to my sort of second point, which is like, look, if you're traveling at Monday morning at a 6 a.m., it's glorious because it's all business travel. you
Right.
know were you with me when it was like end of spring break and we were like in airports?
Yes, yes, and I
Yeah.
always forget when we have to travel with the non-business people in that sense because yeah, we're in such this mindset of everyone knows what they're doing and why are there so many kids here? Yeah.
Yeah. So be cognizant of like when you're traveling as well, because typically speaking, if you're with a bunch of other business travelers, things move rather smoothly and quickly. And if you're not, give yourself extra time, especially during, as we head into a summer travel season where you're dealing with people who aren't taking, flying somewhere every week or every other week. It makes a big, big difference.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, this next one for me is a slight departure from these sort of tips, but it goes into partially why we were thinking about talking about travel today because it was coming up in our, Best Air community talking about trips that people are going on soon. Keep your work trips and your like vacation trips separate and also like do your best to unplug from work on your vacation trips. I think that one's really important personally. And I know it's a really, really hard one for a lot of us, but I think it's so important to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brittany, believe it or not, I used to love flying on planes because it didn't have Wi-Fi, and I
Right.
could just, like, enjoy a movie and not get a
Sure.
call and not get an email, but obviously now all of our flights pretty much have Wi-Fi, like, except
Right.
for some random old Delta jet that we end up on, but they all have Wi-Fi, and it definitely, I think, changes the calculus, a ton, but yes, if you are going away, try to get away.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think it is kind of frustrating that we've turned any time and opportunity where, there's the option of being able to work on something. It's like we guilt ourselves into believing that like we are not being productive if we're not working during this time. But yeah, back in the day, we that just wasn't an option and there was no guilt associated with it. It was just you were on this flight to get you from point A to point B. You have no choice and there's no reason to feel guilty about it. So, yeah, we should still be able to take that for what it is, and not have to feel bad if you're not pulling out your laptop to answer emails while you're, 30,000 feet in the air.
Absolutely. I'm gonna get to one that I've seen change sort of like let's say post-COVID, but that's not true. COVID is still here. Post 2020. Airport gift shops have gotten really good. And so
Yes.
sometimes, like, I can't tell you, like, so many great local places now, like in Hartford at Bradley Airport, like we have Hartford Prints, right?
Mhm.
Which is like a cool local store downtown, and they've got like their shirts and their hats and like I feel like airports, and this is true like mostly across the country, like they have localized and they brought in like local brands and local art and local and I love it. Like I think airport gift shops are highly underrated places to shop if you are looking for something, from that place. In general. So don't discount like, hey, if you really want that Colorado t-shirt, like you're not just going to get necessarily a generic one, you're going to get something that is from a local shop that is high quality. I think of a lot of, Salt Lake City Airport has a number of stores like this, but more and more and more local things at these airports. So, you know, if you need that souvenir, if you're traveling and you want to get something from a place, don't feel like you have to make a special trip. You can probably grab something great at the airport.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. You're right. You're spot on there. They've really upped their game. And I always have to remind myself when I see like a comfy sweatshirt in an airport that I don't need another sweatshirt.
What?
It's a struggle. I know it's a struggle. Or yeah, or I don't have to, Ryan likes to every hat that we see suggest we get it from my husband because he's a fan of hats, of course, like most guys are out there, but he certainly does not need to add another one to his hat collection. At least not one from an airport gift shop, even though they are nice.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Marissa's husband got a fantastic hat in Utah that he loves. I am a fan of airport hats and a fan of airport gift shops.
Well, we'll have to see what the airport in Italy looks like. Well, maybe I'll allow some airport shopping at the one in Italy.
See, though, I'm going the Italians are just different. Like,
Probably.
Americans are so consumer driven and
I know.
so, like, commercial in that way. Like, I'm thinking I mean, it's been 25 years since I've been to Rome's airport, but I'm feeling like the gift shops there are probably not gonna be that great. Like,
Probably not. Their go-to is probably like the wine at the duty free shop is my guess.
But even that, I feel like is probably all like standardized and corporatized.
Well, I'm
I think the
sure.
move is like you go to a vineyard and you ship wine home. That's probably the move there. But I will be on the lookout for Italian gift shops in airports. But I'm willing
Yeah,
to be
now I'm
disappointed on
curious.
this. I'm willing to
Yeah,
be
same,
disappointed on
same.
this one.
But now, yeah, now I'm very interested. Well, and I'm also you guys are flying in and out of the. Are you flying out of Rome too, or just into Rome?
No,
We'll
we're
have to
just
ask
flying into Rome and then we're flying out of Bologna.
Bologna. Okay, yeah. See, Connor and I are just flying in and out of Bologna, so I'm sure that one, obviously being smaller than Rome's, yeah, probably won't have too many sweatshirts in it. I'm guessing.
I just remember when I landed in Italy last time, like just a wild scene of like, the baggage handlers out on the tarmac smoking and like they're just like tossing the luggage. Just a very different way of life over there,
Yeah,
which I'm excited.
yeah. I got a TikTok or a reel come across my feed yesterday. Clearly, my algorithm knows I'm traveling to Italy soon. And it was talking about the meal schedule in, Italy, so as to not get it wrong, and out yourself as a tourist. And man, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to be full blown tourist here. I can fully appreciate their schedule, but I can't do like my full dinner meal from like 8 to 10 o'clock at night. That's according to what this TikTok told me.
You know
But
what though? You can like the time zone works out in our favor. Like
that's true.
and it's just a different energy there. Like you're like,
Yeah.
think about it like if you go out and you go to like a concert or something. It's like their dinner is like concert. Like it is a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm such a on vacation, like on these types of vacations where it's like a brand new place and there's just so much that I want to explore. I I'm like the second the sun is up, I'm feeling like I'm wasting daylight, and clearly, yeah, I'll have to get used to the fact that that's not how it's going to be there because, you know, there are slow mornings and everything, which I appreciate and I really do love about that. But I'm just so bad at not wanting to just like be go, go, go and not want to miss a single like second of opportunity to see new things. So I'll have to, because I was like scheduling out, tours and looking for things. And I'm like, man, everything, their earliest tour for all these places is like noon. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, what do these people do in the morning?
It's a certainly a different way
Yeah.
of life entirely. All right, here's another one of my travel tips is pack a Dramamine. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and check Turbly, which I check before flights. And like, look, I fly a lot. I'm not scared of flying, but sometimes you can get like motion sick, right?
Yeah.
And if it's going to be a turbulent flight, like hit a Dramamine like right before you're about to board, relaxes you, puts you to sleep. I don't use sleep aids, but if I do, if it's a night flight, like I'm definitely taking a Dramamine because it's essentially like a Benadryl, and that puts me to sleep. So, a little airport carry on Dramamine. And also, I absolutely carry hand sanitizer as well because, like, the trays that you put your luggage on, like those things are so greasy and icky.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the next plague is on those airport security gray, disgusting trays,
Yeah.
and also the back of seats and all of that. So, Dramamine and definitely some hand sanitizer in your backpack or whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely. And also love to, you know, when I can remember to pack a reusable water bottle to travel with. Almost every airport now has the, fillable water stations. Just don't forget to empty any water, before you go through security and things like that on your ships. But it's just I feel like when you don't travel with a water bottle, you're always, kicking yourself because of course it's dry in these places. You want water. You can't always, especially now too on some of the flights, like depending on how short they are or because of turbulence, right? Like service will get delayed. And so you can't always ask for water, beverages. So it's just nicer always like having that around. And of course, they way overcharge, for water bottles in the airport, gift shops and stuff. So if you want to avoid having to pay like $6 for bottle of smart water or whatever because that's all they have, pack a water bottle.
Water bottle's a great tip. Also, a great tip for me, the meal of champions in airports is beef jerky.
I was just gonna say that one.
So
We've become
you know,
connoisseurs of beef jerkies.
well, it never goes bad. I
No,
mean, I don't think you can throw it in your bag. It doesn't take up much space. And you simply never know when it is that you're going to be eating. Like you could
right?
get into a place delayed and late and all the restaurants are closed. You could get into a place and we've landed places and they're like, oh, your departure time has been bumped up. All of those things can happen. And so if you have a bag of beef jerky in your backpack and some water, you at least have some protein and water and salt. And I'm a big fan of traveling with beef jerky.
Yeah, same. I know. I think we have similar travel food preferences of beef jerky. Some sort of like candy gummy is obviously, every once in a while you need a little sugar rush,
Yeah.
so that's always preferable. I always rely on you for the Altoids or like mints and stuff. You've always got mints going, so those are nice to like have to chew on. Just I feel like they help with obviously multiple things, but even if you are feeling a little like dizzy, nausea and stuff, like sucking on a mint and stuff helps with stuff like that too.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
those are the go tos.
Yep. Definite go-tos. The other thing is like, and I invested in a bunch of this for actually Italy, but also just for other things about, bringing portable battery packs for chargers. You can never ever depend upon the chargers on a plane working if they have them. And so bring definite battery packs as you know, you can drain your battery just awfully quickly and useful because so many things are on your phone. So if you're like, hey, I'm going to get a ride share, you need your phone. Hey, I'm going to get where my ticket is on my phone. I always feel like the ultimate sort of like luxury indulgence item in an airport are like, do you want a paper ticket? Yes, because then I don't have to like take out my phone. I'm just like,
Right.
here,
Yeah.
that is sort of a luxury item, but essentially in modern travel, keeping your phone is really important. You can go online because not surprisingly, like a big fear of mine is that I'm going to like lose my wallet, which
Oh
has
my
one
gosh. Yeah.
time in Houston, like I couldn't find my wallet. It was underneath my nightstand in my
I was gonna say
hotels.
you are particularly bad about losing your cards and your
But I carry with me, like, on the off chance it'll work, like, you can scan your passport into your Apple Wallet, and at least if
yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm at the airport, where's my wallet?" I'm like, "I don't have it," but you've got my Face ID, my little passport thing. Hopefully, I can get through security. I don't wanna do that, but, some backup, sort of ID. I know Connecticut is going to allow, your licenses to be on, your phone, but definitely make sure your phone is taken care of, charged, and your ability to access things like tickets and gate updates and all of those things that go on when you fly.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I'm always like triple checking that I have my phone on me more so even than my wallet and things like that because yeah, anything else is a little bit easier to replace, but yeah, our whole lives now are essentially on our phones and it's frustrating, but it is the way it is, and so yeah, you definitely don't want to be caught with a dead battery at all,
And
for sure.
speaking of phones and forgetfulness, this is another one. Take a picture of where you park if you park your
Oh
car at
my
an
gosh,
airport.
yes. I always do that.
Because otherwise it's a Monday morning at 6 a.m. when you park your car somewhere, you run through the airport, you come back Thursday night at midnight, and you're like, "What?
Like, what where was I
Where did I
again?
park? I am tired. I've been running a gauntlet." So take a picture of where it is that you
Yeah, the best invention for me as of late has been I still take a picture regardless because it's not always foolproof, but my car's new enough, a Subaru, that like I have the Subaru app for it and everything, and there's like a locator button and stuff like that on there. It GPSs on your phone to where you're parked, but I still need that like picture of the section and floor number and everything because otherwise, yeah. And thankfully, this is another, my reason why I kept that car that I have. I got the brightest bluest car ever, so that it's also easy to spot in a huge sea of black sedans and SUVs.
Yes, so that is a good thing. Speaking of being easy to spot, making your luggage distinctive, there is so much gray
Yes.
and black luggage, stickers, bands, anything that can make your luggage stand out absolutely do that. I know my luggage is covered in stickers, which makes it quite easy to find, but definitely put some distinguishing, unique things on your luggage. Or, if you're buying luggage, I actually bought new luggage for Italy and I got this Amazon basic suitcase and it's like bright
Hmm.
orange because I'm like,
Nice.
perfect. You know,
Yes. Yep.
I can spot it coming off, spot it at a baggage claim very easily, and I still then will put some stickers on it, again, because you're landing in a strange place, you're tired, all the bags look alike, and you're standing around with a bunch of people who are all in the same predicament. So definitely distinguish your luggage in some way.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good call. Also, going back to the chargers, if you're going to a foreign country, make sure you are buying or getting the correct adapters for things. I've made that mistake before because it's not always super clear as to like what adapters to use for what. This is more I probably a girl problem in terms of hair dryers. Like I don't understand why hair dryers can't be made universally with the same voltages all across the world, but they are unfortunately not. And so if you've got an American hair dryer, just know there's 0% chance it's working over in Europe. So just make sure you're getting the right adapters or things like that for it.
Here, speaking of which, hotel rooms and outlets are just weird, okay? So
So weird.
like, you never know what outlets you're gonna get, where they're gonna be, or sometimes there are a few outlets and, like, lamps are plugged in. Like, it's a giant nightmare, and you can't plan on any sort of consistency. I often pack a power strip in my bag,
Oh,
so
that's
that way if
smart.
I can find one outlet, like, I can plug in, like, my
Everything.
phone and my laptop and whatnot. It doesn't need to be a fancy or expensive or large, but I can't tell you how many times, like, I've walked around hotel rooms, like, unplugging lamps to try to
Yes.
plug in because, we travel with, like, a lot of devices. Like, we have, our plods and we have
Hmm.
our
Our
laptops and
computer.
our
Yeah.
phones and, our AirPods and all sorts of different things that we, in fact, need charge to do work. And either you're trying to, like, pull things out and, rotate them in shifts, but I'm a big fan of a power strip.
Yeah, that's a good call. I've never thought to do that. I usually, yeah, just struggle with the hide and seek of hotel outlets, especially now too because they'll try to get fancy sometimes and put in, USB outlet things or the micro, and it's like just yeah, standardize it or something. I don't know.
Well,
It's frustrating.
it's a mess because it's like, "Oh, this is
Yeah.
USB to USB-C, but
Yeah.
I only have USB-C to USB." It's just get yourself a power strip and thank me.
Yeah, absolutely. Same with, airplanes too, right? It's, for the most part, there's a standard a USB thing, but now it's just so common with most of us having iPhones. I don't know. Android probably has similar the micro USB now too chargers, but yeah, it's just frustrating. You can't assume anything. So just anything portable battery packs, the your own power strip, it's all just easier.
Definitely, definitely worth packing. I'm trying to think, like, what else? We've covered a lot of ground.
We have, we have. I mean, this one I guess is more of a basic tip I'd say, but trying to find best places to eat while you're in these new places. I'm such a fan of if I'm in a new place, like exploring that new place through its food. So, try to avoid just going with chain restaurants that you're used to and things like that. Just because like it's comfortable. I want to like, especially with travel, your body's already can get sort of messed up, so I don't really want apart from the airport jerky, I want like good food, So, either obviously ask and like the people you're going to visit there, to these places or, if you're going for work, like, locals or just like ask the people like what's the good food around here? Like what kind of fare should I not be missing? What is what's known here and try to like seek those things out because I don't know that's like I said, I just think you're missing out on travel because like even if you're going for work and it's sort of something quick and you're not going to be able to get to like do and explore a bunch, like at least you can explore through food. So that would be my suggestion.
100%. And I think I think my last travel tip is going to be leave extra room in your suitcase.
Oh
And we
gosh,
have
yeah.
particularly learned this going to conferences. So if you're going to like legal conferences, sometimes the amount of swag or stuff can be enormous. And there have been times where I've stood on my suitcase to like get it to
Yeah.
shut. And even when we're going to Italy, Allison's like, hey, why don't we just pack carry? I was like, no,
I
no.
know, I
I'm
was
like,
thinking that too, and I'm
I'm
like,
like,
"No,
I'm like,
no, regret it."
if I see a great Pope Leo shirt, I am getting it, and I'm not worrying about space in my suitcase, okay? I'm going all in on my Pope Leo swag, and I'm not gonna be deterred, but so leave a little bit of extra room, always better to have a little bit too much, than too little, especially if you're going to be doing any sort of shopping or purchasing or swag. I mean, look, we're flying down to DC next week for like a day. Like I'm just having a backpack. Like I'm not
Same,
carrying a carrying on for that,
same.
as I don't expect to buy anything. But in general, just leave a little bit of space.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know I've made that mistake before, thinking I should just, yeah, get away with carry-ons, and then lo and behold, yeah, you find the cool things while you're, sun drunk on vacation, right? Like, just happy and having fun, and like, "Oh my god, this is so great, I need to bring it home." And, of course, lo and behold, it's half the time too, it's something like a bottle of wine or something, and you're like, "Well, I'll be able to, secure that in there, and but obviously now I can't carry it on because it's liquid, so I'll just check it." And then you're, stuck with dealing with checking a bag that you didn't originally plan to check, and it's a whole thing. So, absolutely. Connor and I decided we're also gonna try to do Milan while we're in Italy, so I'm gonna be shopping while I'm in Milan.
As one should.
Yeah.
And also for us, Brittany, it's not just been wine, it's been like cowboy boots.
I
So
know.
if you're
That
in
one was tricky.
if you're in Utah and you're like, I feel the urge for cowboy boots, like you need space in your bag for these. These are not
Yes.
small things. So don't deny yourself cowboy boots. Pack a little bit of a bigger bag.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a perfect tip to end it on. So, Ryan, what have you been reading, watching, listening to, consuming?
I have been listening to a Prince concert, and it's on like wherever Apple Music. It's from the Carrier Dome in Syracuse in I think 1985, and it is just amazing. It's like Prince at his peak and well recorded and fantastic, and I love the concert. It includes, and for all you TikTok fans of 2 or 3 minute songs, it includes a 19-minute version of Purple Rain that somehow feels too short, and I'm
That's
here for it.
awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, when it's a great artist like that, yeah, no amount of time I feel like is too long for great music. Love
And what
that.
do you have, Brittany?
Well, speaking of great music, obviously, my girl Taylor released just one song last Friday, and it goes back to her country roots because it's actually for the soundtrack for the Toy Story 5 soundtrack. So it's hilarious that it's for, a kids movie, but it's so fun and nostalgic. It's very classic country Taylor, but with all of her sort of grown-ups, lyricism and storytelling in it. So I've been loving it. It, of course, because it's Taylor, it broke all the records for like one day country music streaming songs or whatever, all the different things that she breaks. So hilarious, of course, again, that it's for a children's movie soundtrack, but it makes me excited because, of course, everyone's assuming that it's sort of Easter egging her return to re-recording and revisiting her debut album, which of course was country. I think that's true. It's the 20th year anniversary of that album. So everyone's kind of assuming that that is definitely coming up. And anyways, listening to the song made me happy, and it's been on repeat, and it definitely makes me excited for a return of country Taylor.
Well, I was thinking when you said Easter egging, I was like, is she pregnant? Like,
No, she hasn't
like,
even got well, some people are claiming she got
yeah.
married. Some people are claiming, no, not the pregnancy thing, but some people are claiming her and Travis got married this weekend, and she released a song to sort of like put all of her fans in like iPad timeout. Like, here, like shoved an iPad in front of her face, said, here, like, be distracted by this so that we can get married. That's the rumor mill, of course. But obviously there's rumors about everything from 1,000-person wedding at, Madison Square Garden to her Rhode Island house. So who knows when all that's happening. I do think that is probably happening very soon. But otherwise she's definitely been Easter egging. I mean, she was Easter egging this song specifically in her, collab with the Toy Story stuff, but it seems she's probably Easter egging the re-record of Debut too. So we'll see. I don't know. She, the one thing with Taylor, she has stated this very clearly before. She never Easter eggs like personal details. So like she wouldn't Easter egg being pregnant. She would just announce it if she wanted to share it with the world. Like she wouldn't Easter egg when the wedding is. She would just share it with the world if like she wanted to. So we always have to remember that she likes to keep her true personal life out of it.
Well, there you go. And so listen to some Taylor while you travel, wherever you travel this summer. We hope our paths cross. If we're in town, we'd love to see you. Hope you have great travels. Hope you spend time with your family and take some of our tips and make your life a little bit better.
Yes, and we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of The Way with Best Era. Be sure to visit our website. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Until next time, keep striving for your version of success.